Hey, Snapchat, it is my fifth night away from home, my fourth hotel room. I'm coming today live from Folsom, California. Today I'm going to cover whether or not you should even raise venture capital. But first I want to tell you, I have saved all of my past Snapstorms, and I am going to publish them soon, I promise. For the overwhelming majority of people, I tell them early in their business, it's probably not the right answer to raise venture capital. And just to be clear, I am a VC, so you'd find it strange that I would say this, but VC is for a very particular kind of business and it can actually damage a lot. Venture funds are built on the premise that they'll invest in 20 to 30 companies and maybe 3 or 4 of these will be absolute rocket ships that'll return 3, 4, 5 times the. So if you want to create a slower growth business or have lots of options along the way, VC may not be the right option for you. So if your company raises, say, $3 million from a VC and you return $6 or $9 million over 2 to 3 years, it actually isn't success for a VC. As a result, often venture capital forces unnatural growth on early stage businesses because of the demand for fast growth. My friends at First Round Capital once gave me the analogy of a local train or an express train. With VC, you're on the express train. There's no stop. Other types of capital are the local train. It stops a lot more. You may not get there quite as fast, but you have a lot of options to get off the train along the way. So I think most businesses are best raising from angels or even seed funds in their early days until you really figure out if this is going to be a rocket. If along the way you realize it isn't quite as big of a business as you thought it was going to be, your chances of either building a slow growth profitable business or selling early are still there. And if a couple years into it you figure out this is a monster market, you can still go back and raise venture capital. The downside obviously is you probably have less cash available if you don't raise VC, so you have to run on a slimmer budget. But I actually think that's a good thing for most early stage businesses. If you stick with my analogy of VCs being rocket ships, if you add rocket fuel too early and you don't know which direction the rocket is pointing, you may find it shoots in the wrong way. And strangely, the tech industry has defined success by creating billion-dollar exits. I've got news for you. A $20 million exit where you own 40% is a great outcome. Now I'm going to tell you the cases where VC early in a business is the right answer for you. Number one, if you believe you have an absolutely enormous market opportunity that you've spotted early and you think a lot of capital is the only way to. Number two, if you're in a phase of your career or life where you accept that you may be a rocket ship or you may blow up trying. Number three, you know in your bones that you want to be part of a super competitive market and you don't mind the consequences of all the capital. Number four, you accept that if you fail in trying, there's a consequence where someone else may take control of your business. Venture capital is simply the fastest way to scale a business and make the infrastructure investments you need if you want to be very big, very quick. I have some friends that work with me at Salesforce.com. They made enough money there, so when they came out, their goal was to try and build something enormous and something lasting. That's why you saw companies like Okta or Zuora or Tact. They want to build companies and be as big as Mark Benioff. But unless this is your life experience, unless is this your life ambition, I recommend smaller amounts of capital and take the local train. And if the opportunity presents itself for you to make your first amount of wealth in your family and set aside money for your future, please don't let anyone define that as failure. I've had this conversation with numerous friends where I've encouraged them to sell early and make millions of dollars rather than play the game of go big or go bust. Finally, I want to be clear that my objective as a VC is actually to meet those rare individuals that really are driven by building enormous companies that change them. That doesn't define everybody else as less worthy. All it is my business model and the business that I'm in, which is trying to create billion-dollar winners.